Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Hi, if you're new, my name is Karima and I post art and journaling content. However, this one's going to be slightly different. I'm not actually going to create a spread or do something, but it might be a long one, so have a seat, make a coffee. I've made myself a really nice moringa and nettle tea because I'm in pain and nettle is very good for inflammation and pain. So this is going to be quite a chatty video, and please don't mind my nails, I need to repaint them, but ew. Anyways, this would be a very chatty video, and I'm just going to be talking about my bullet journaling process. So just a little bit of info. I've been bullet journaling since I was about 17. This was 2018 that I started bullet journaling. There wasn't much content about it online. I was a student, so it was really helpful to plan my day, plan all the projects and all the work that I'd have to do. So it lasted for, I would say, over 5 years, like continuously. And I'll happily do a video on all my old spreads because I absolutely love them, I adore them. I went really creative with some of them as well, so I'd happily do that in the future. But I stopped bullet journaling around the time I got to uni, purely because I just didn't have the time to actually draw out these spreads, because they would take a lot of hours out of my day, and I just didn't have it in me to create, especially because my whole degree was surrounding art as I studied animation. So I just wanted all my artistic ability to go towards my work. However, at the beginning of this year, and just I guess December of last year, I really wanted to get back into bullet journaling. My previous planning system was all entirely digital, and I would do it on my iPad, and that worked great for about 2.5 years, I'd say, as it was quick, it was efficient, I could still plan my day, and I could still be a little bit creative with like stickers, digital stickers. Everything was just a bit more efficient, which I absolutely loved. However, I wanted to get back into some form of bullet journaling because I missed that craft. I missed creating. I missed putting a couple hours at the beginning of the week just to plan and sit and just draw. It was just such a soothing and calming habit that I missed, and I wanted to do something art related that didn't rely on my degree, if that made sense, or just didn't rely on a specific outcome. I kind of just missed the concept of creating something without, having opinions about it or having a grade for it, if that makes sense. So I missed that. And so I created this, which was inspired actually by Joshi Corin here on YouTube, and she was gamifying her life for the year, which I thought was such a fun concept. And as much as I loved this whole idea and have kind of implemented the practices, just not in physical form, but mentally, I have been actually making my life feel a bit more like a game to kind of, make it feel like it's worth living, as daunting as that may sound. But I just could not for the life of me get this system to work. So I'll just do a flip through, and it's so sad because I absolutely love the way that this came out. I absolutely adored it. And I never did this letter to future me, and the reason why I didn't do this is because I didn't have an envelope, so I literally just didn't do it. This point system went out the window after the first month. If you had watched my video on creating this, I did mention that Joshi Corin was doing a digital count of the points, which I think probably works a bit better. However, I decided I didn't want to do that. I decided that I would mark all the points with these book tabs and put them in this really cute jar. And this is all from the first month. It hasn't been counted. Let's have an example. Reading 10 pages. I usually would read in bed or a commute. So I am not in that moment going to do this. Take one of these tabs and put it in the jar. It just wasn't efficient in real life. Like I wasn't going to break down my day every single day at the end of the day to see if it was productive and efficient. No. So that just out the window. So this was the character summary I made for my... It's so sad to look at this because I absolutely love the layout of this. And I didn't even touch this page. I don't even think I looked at this page. But I don't regret doing it because I do want to take elements to this in my new journaling system, which I will speak about. But this just didn't work. This is the saddest part. This is what I was most excited for. This was my little character with a wardrobe, and you can literally take off her clothes. This just completely fell apart. But make new clothes. I was planning to make her clothes after every time she leveled up, and it just didn't work out. I could even change the hair if I wanted to, the shoes, everything. And then this was her wardrobe. I did make her a December fit because I made this in December, and this was my reward. And it is this cute little Grinch pajama set. But yeah, what a shame. I did, however, use this slightly. My season 1 goal and season 2, which is still in the works. I haven't even signed up for a gym, but I do like that, so I may continue this. And one reason why I don't mind starting a new journaling system in May is because technically I should have started in April, but I had only gotten the new things recently. But I don't mind starting in May because it's still spring. It still feels like the beginning of the year, kind of quote. I don't like starting the year, for example, on January 1st because it's winter. I think spring is the gateway to new life, and I think that should be the quote beginning of our year, and how we plan should all orientate towards that. So that's just my idea. So that's why I'm not too fussed about starting in May, and it feels like a new beginning, so I'm not that angry. So a lot of this I should have filled in, like I've done some of these things more, but this I really love. 25 things 25 times in 2025. I really want to just copy and paste this into the new journal, but I don't know. I love this. I think this is so fun, and I want to complete it. And then this was also a bucket list bingo that I made, that I also want to take in. So a lot of these aspects I do want to take into the new journal. It's just such a shame I wasn't able to continue in this kind of setting. I do, however, like the ring binder. I used to bullet journal in notebooks, like in Leuchtturm notebooks and things, but I heavily prefer the binder version. And I know loads of people like Filofax. So this is similar to Filofax, I guess. It's just this is an A5 size, and maybe Filofax would have worked for me, but I've looked into different forms of journaling and daily planning, and I kind of want everything in one. So I've spent months, honestly, researching, and I've hopefully have come up with a system that I will use. This, I'm sad that I didn't fill out. I think I can technically still fill this out, because if I just go through my log, I think I'd be able to fill these in pretty accurately, especially because I know what I do every day and plan everything I do every day. So I'm gonna fill this up because this will look so cool when it's done. I've never done a year in pixels, and it feels like this was going very successfully, but we'll see. My yearly routine, I actually like this, but also makes me realize I don't water my plants enough, so that's yeah. Stats, I do want to focus a lot more on content creation, especially because I've got multiple accounts and I kind of just post or create content whenever I feel it. So everything's really random, nothing's really scheduled. And because I've got so many accounts, especially TikTok accounts, I've got 3 that I post on. One was started for fun and games, but then it just blew up. So like I'm trying to kind of be active there, but then I'm also rebranding my personal accounts. I've gotten rid of all my previous TikToks and thinking of new ways to start again. So I do want to dedicate space in my new system that's not just stats, that's just actually planning. I did make an entire Notion content creation board, but I just don't want it digital. Like as efficient as it is, being digital just makes me feel like I'm losing touch with my paper and pen and my mind. And there is a lot of science revolving around how pen and paper is statistically helping you a lot more than keeping everything digital. And I did watch an entire YouTube video on it the other day, and I find it like it makes me want to be on paper so much more. If I can find the video, I'll link it in the description because it is actually a really good watch and it's really insightful. But anyways, so I started this technically in February because I was planning this to just be like a yearly journal. So it would be things I would do yearly, but because there were sections, for example, the year in pixels, which were daily, I was like, well, let me just pick up bullet journaling again. I miss it. And the digital planner that I had, as many pages as I had, honestly, these digital plans are great. I just wanted something that was for me, made by me, crafted for me. So I made this and I really, really love this. This is something I will take into my new journaling system. So technically I'm not throwing away bullet journaling. It's just changing and evolving with me. But one thing I did learn is I don't like big monthly habit trackers, which is something I tried for March, I believe. If I can find it. Yeah, look how empty this is. I just didn't even think to do these things or look in this page at all. I didn't even track water intake. Well, technically it was Ramadan. I didn't even track water intake. But any of this I didn't track. However, I really enjoyed the little weekly tracker as a habit tracker, because having everything just on one page, I know this is just unfinished time and there should be a week, surely. That's just making me sound like I'm more believable. Oh no, okay. So I initially, with my February, just did dailies. So this was just not helpful. As much as I loved the idea, it was good for some days where I had a lot to do and needed to plan daily content, but it's just empty other than that. So then I swapped over to being doing this and having a double spread of my week, a little box for space to write the things I need to do that day, because I really don't need an entire page. And then I just have a to-do list. I love this content ideas, which I did utilize a lot. And I want to focus on that again. And then I really love this little habit tracker. It made such a difference having it just on one page rather than having to flip through all the time. Like, I know it sounds like I'm being lazy and silly, but it really stopped me from even thinking about the habits that I needed to do, which is crazy, I know. Also, what I did do while bullet journaling is I was writing, like, journaling daily, which was really nice actually, and it's something I want to do again. As I stopped while I stopped bullet journaling, I just ended up stopping journaling in general. I even made pre-pages and I never used them, which is irritating, but that is something I will continue again, different format. So anyways, that was February. I did for literally 2 weeks, I believe. I think I started in the middle of February. And I was fine with that. It just let me play around and test out what worked and what didn't, and I did learn a lot. And then March rolled around, had my monthly log, which I really like. This is something I would do when I was bullet journaling, so nothing was necessarily new for me. I did my old version of habit tracking, realized this is just not working for me. I need it on one page. But I did continue with the weekly spread rather than dailies, and then I would just journal. So this went on for a good while. There was days where I needed more pages to journal, there was days where I needed less. So I liked the aspect of just going and creating the pages as time went on. But it was kind of just stressful having everything together. Even though that is what I want, if that makes sense. I want everything, all my thoughts to be on in one book. But this, it just felt really cluttered. So I'll tell you my solution. I apologize for being so long. And this was what was supposed to be April, and I didn't do it because I wanted to film it, and I never got around to filming it, so it never got made or got used. But this was the layout, and I'm sad because, you know what, I thought this could work. I did have a section that I wanted to focus on my content creation, and that was all going to go here. So I like that I did this, and then I even made a monthly dashboard, which I learned from Josh Current, which I think I would use. So this is something I may try again in my new system. Again, there's going to be a lot of trial and error. It's not going to look perfect, but I think that's the goal. I think I need to stop focusing on perfection and just create something that's functional and fits my whole system, because I've got a lot of thoughts, a lot of plans, a lot of projects. I even added a budget tracker because this is what I need, and I wish I made it because this would have been so good. I spent so much money this month. But yeah, I made a little budget tracker and then a space for commonplace. I so deeply need a space for commonplacing, which I will get to. And then this was going to be my first weekly spread. Don't know why there's a makeup smudge there. It's infuriating every time I look at it. But I had a space for weekly affirmations, this week's priorities. I had my little habit tracker for the week, my water intake. This was going to be the slots for all the days. I had my to-do list, any important days, reminders. I had no idea what this box was going to be. I think I left it to think of something, but this is the general idea, and this is kind of the layout that I think I would thoroughly enjoy. So it is something I would take into my new system, and then that's it. So that is my journal, which is a shame because, again, there's barely any actual bullet journaling in here, but it's what I tried and tested for the first quarter of this year. Learned it's not for me, so let's see what I've got new then, because this video is already really long and I apologize for the time. In terms of the new system, I actually wasn't going to buy it yet. I was probably going to start it in June because I was going to do the order in May. But yesterday I actually went to Casa and saw that they had this stuff in stock. So I was like, you know what, this is a sign, buy it. Break the bank a little bit, but it's okay. I can tell you exactly how much it cost. This whole order, let's just hide everything else. The order was £74.60, so that's crazy. So this is the new system, and if you guessed, it is a commonplace journal, and we are gonna do a little unboxing. I didn't initially want to spend this much money. This journal alone was £53.95, which is breaking my bank account. I'll be honest, I've looked into so much about travelers journals, and so many people were raving about travelers notebooks and a bunch of other brands which are just more expensive. And I just, Lord, I know this is the first initial purchase that would be expensive. That's why I thought, you know what, it's worth it. Just pay that much now and you'll pay so much less in the future, because this should last forever. So why I chose Travelers Company instead of any just random Amazon one is because of the inserts. I was looking at all these measurements, everything was so different, and I know in the future it would be so frustrating for me if I'm buying an insert and it just doesn't fit. And if I have to constantly check for measurements, I will just get so angry and just not even order anything. So I thought this would be easy. This is like done there, everything's from the same company, it should all be good. So let's unbox. So this is in the color olive. It comes with the cotton bag, the leather cover, and a blank notebook. And it comes with a spare rubber band, which is nice. Oh, this feels so luxury to me. Oh, lovely. More plastic. Okay. I will say this does feel very luxurious, even just the way it's wrapped. Has some information about traveler's notebook. Under pack information. Okay. So here's the spare rubber band. I really like this cloth bag actually. I don't think, I'll be honest, I doubt I'll use it. But the fact that it's here, it's nice. Oh, this is so stunning. It looks used. Like, it looks like it's been scratched up, which, fine. I know that this is gonna get ruined, and I'm absolutely fine with that. Apologies for the change in view slightly. My phone got overheated. But let's open her up. So it's just this plain journal. I really like that it lays flat as well. So that's really nice. So I did also get other journals. So I got 2 lined and 1 dotted. And the reason for this is because I want a couple things to fill this journal up. That's why I ended up going for Traveler's Journal, because again, I want everything in one place, but I wanted some kind of separation, which my journal currently doesn't have. So this, I can just put them all in, and there's a separation, which is great. So this is going to be my main journal. This is going to be for daily journaling. So basically everything you've already seen is going to be here. I'm going to probably bullet journal it and we'll see how that goes. If I don't like this bullet journaling aspect of it, I probably will buy the ready-made like calendar layout and the weekly layout. But I think I can get on with this, and I just need to come up with some designs that I like, especially for this size, because I've not worked on such a small canvas, well, skinny and long. So this will be interesting. I still need to decide what things I'm going to transfer over from my previous journal into this one, so that I'll figure all out, and I'll probably do a video setting this entire system up. So then second, I got 2 of the same journals. Again, because I wanted that separation, I want an entire journal to be literally just a daily journal, just writing my thoughts, how the day went, like I did in my previous journal, but having that little bit of separation. So this is going to be that. And then lastly, this journal, again, it's lined paper. Same journal, but I need a place for common placing, which is the entire point of this journal, which people use for, whereas I'm going to do a little bit of everything. So the concept of common place journaling is literally just having one place with everything you want to note down, everything you want to remember, anything you learn, basically just a notebook of information. And that is what I really, really need. And so I'll probably make a designated key on this page of what means what, and then people usually do like a little dot or a color. I might use like book tabs, I might just do color. We'll see how it goes. I've never done common placement before, but I think it'll be very beneficial for me, especially because I really like to learn, and it's hard for me to learn things and have them actually stick to me. Like, I need to sit, write it, and think about it. So this would be so good for me just to learn and retain knowledge. And so for this journal, it's plain, so I can do whatever I want with it. It can be a mini sketchbook, although I do have a mini sketchbook, which I may put in here as well. So this is my mini sketchbook. It's obviously a completely different size, but it'll fit. That's all that matters. But ignore this horrible line. I tried to make a pocket, and it is a pocket, but like, whatever. This is literally just tiny sketchbook of doodles that I usually do at work, and I'm not really allowed to draw at work, so that's exactly why I bought this, so I can just doodle. But I might put that in here, so I don't think I will use this for drawing. However, I do want this for my creative projects, and I don't mind that it's not lined. I can't write on blank paper, like I can't write in a straight line, but it won't be that deep in my opinion. I do want like graphs and things in here, and so for my personal projects this might be perfect. I don't know if I'll use it for one major project that I'm working on, or use it for all my projects and have a key, similar to the commonplace journaling, but we'll figure that out when the time comes. Okay, so let's take this out and let's start putting the other books in. So probably the order that I want to do this in is, okay, the dotted one will go first. Sorry, I'm losing brain cells trying to figure out how to even set this up. You know what, let me watch a YouTube tutorial. I did also buy extra rubber bands because I feel like I will need it. Tutorial right here. I'm so silly. Okay, so let's open this bad boy up. I feel like I want to use the brown because it's nice and soft. But oh, okay, that is incorrect. Okay, that looks incorrect. Okay, we're gonna figure this out again. Okay, so I just put in 2 without being on camera, but I'll do the last 2 on camera. So I'll bind them with the rubber band first. I'm so extremely heavy-handed. Like this, and then I'll just fish it through the second ribbon. Okay, it looks better. Sorry, I'm completely afro. It looks a bit better. It's a lot better. I believe that's the way to do it. And I kind of expected it to be a bit chunky. God. Okay, that's what she looks like. This is, I guess, a bookmark. I'm not a fan of that, to be fair. I did also want to mention that I did want to buy one more thing to insert in this, and that was the craft paper, I guess, that goes on the back, just to be able to put like stickers and stuff in. Yeah, however, it wasn't at Casa. The only thing they had was the that plastic Ziploc bag thingy, which I didn't want. I want the craft paper insert. So I'm really excited to play around with this and add charms for the future. I was looking for a charm and I can't find it, but when I do find it, I'll put it in. And I will film a video of how I create everything, how I use this. But yeah, the next video will probably be my setup, which hopefully I can get done today, if not this week. But I'm very excited to start this. I think that this is the way to go. I've thought about many different ways to actually plan my life, and I think traveler's journals is the perfect way for me. And I've not actually seen many people kind of mix traveler's journals and like bullet journaling, so I'm really excited to test that and see how that works. There's going to be a lot of errors in this, there's going to be mistakes, but I'll do updated videos on how it's going and what works and what didn't. But again, I'm very excited to start. So thank you for watching this setup and listening to me ramble for about half an hour, but I will see you on the next one. Bye.